Hello and welcome to Read Up. In this video, I would be discussing a sonnet by John Keats. It is titled as When I Have Fears That I May Cease to Be. So without any further delay, let's begin the video. Let's have some background knowledge of the sonnet first. It was written in 1815, and after 3 years of writing this sonnet, in 1821, Keats actually died. So you can say that it is a kind of a prophetic work in nature. As we know that the writer was afflicted with some disease or he was suffering from some disease. So because of this, he had started getting thoughts of his death. And he thought that soon he will die. And because of dying soon, he will miss out many things. He will not be able to do many things. Like he will not be able to fulfill many of his desires. Also, he will not be able to write down his ideas, his philosophies, or his emotions into his poetry and present them to the world. So, in the sonnet, he mentions all those things, all those desires, or all those activities that he will miss out because of dying soon. So, now let's begin with the line by line summary of the sonnet. When I have fears that I may cease to be, before my pen has gleaned my teeming brain. Cease to be means to die or to exist no more. Gleaned means gathered or collected. Teeming means abounding, a lot of, or you can say many. So here in these lines, the poet thinks that there are many great ideas in his mind, there are many great philosophies in his mind, but he will not be able to write down these ideas into his poetries, and therefore he will not be able to present these ideas to the world. So because of these thoughts, because of these feelings, the poet is very sad and he is very upset. Before high piled books in character hold like rich garners the full ripened grain. High piled books means a huge collection of books. Character means literary writings. Garners means storehouse for corns or granary. Full ripened grain. It refers to the mature thoughts and ideas of the speaker. In these lines, a huge collection of books is being compared to the great storehouse of corn. And the idea behind this image is that as the corn is necessary for our physical health, so is literature or books to our mental or moral health. So the speaker thinks that as the corn on being ripe is cut and collected in the granary, so his thoughts and sentiments which are mature and which are ripe should come out from his mind and find place in the great storehouse of literature. The speaker is anxious to make the contribution of these thoughts and sentiments to the great storehouse of literature. He wants that they deserve to be given a literary form and they should occupy their place in the literary books or literary writing. When I behold upon the night's starred face huge cloudy symbols of a high romance. Behold means look or observe. Night's starred face means clear and cloudless night decorated with shining stars in the sky. Here, the starry sky is being imagined by the poet as the bright face of the night. Huge cloudy. It means huge cloud-like group of stars. Symbol means sign. High romance means great unexplored mysteries of the universe. These lines says that when the poet looks up at the sky in night, which is full of stars, His heart is filled with a spirit of great curiosity. The group of stars in the sky for him is the symbol of the unexplored mysteries of the universe, and the poet wants to explain these mysteries of the universe through the power of his poetry. But he trembles with fear when he thinks that soon he will die and he will not be able to express his thoughts and feelings regarding the great mysteries of the universe and store them to the great storehouse of human knowledge and learning. And think that I may never live to trace their shadows with the magic hand of chance. Shadows means mystery, with the magic hand of chance means with the uncertain power of poetic inspiration. As we knew from the previous lines that the poet wanted to explore the mysteries of the universe behind the group of stars in the night, and he wanted to share those mysteries and those ideas through his poetries to the world. But now, when he realizes that he will not be able to do so, he will not be able to write down these thoughts and these mysteries and to share them and to store them to the storehouse of human knowledge and wisdom. He feels sad, he feels scared. And when I feel, fair creature of an hour, that I shall never look upon thee more. Fair creature refers to a beautiful girl seen by kids casually in a public garden. Here we should remember a fact that Keats was not the lover and poet of only moral and spiritual beauty, but also of sensuous beauty. For him, real beauty consisted not in abstract thoughts and feelings only, but also in concrete objects of the world. Apart from being the lover of spiritual and moral beauty, he was also the poet and lover of sensuous beauty. So, in these lines, the poet is sad not because he shall not be able to discover the mysteries of the universe and interpret them in the language of poetic feelings, but he is sad also because he shall not be able to look at the fair face of his beloved. Never have relish in the fairy power of unreflecting love than on the shore. Relish means to enjoy, fairy power means womanly charms or womanly beauty. Unreflecting means youthful. In these lines, the poet is particularly sad to think that he will no more be able to look at the fair face of his mistress, whom he had only casually seen so far, walking in the public garden. And he is sad because death would deprive him of all the opportunities of meeting his beloved, and he will not be able to complete his passions and sentiments of youthful love. And because of death, he will not be able to fulfill many of his desires. Then on the shore of the wide world I stand alone, and think till love and fame to nothingness do sink. These are the concluding lines of the sonnet. And in these lines, the poet says that he is standing all alone on the shore of the life with no hope of future. He realizes that his youthful desires and passions of his heart will not be accomplished. His dreams will remain unachieved. He thinks that he will not be able to achieve fame and glory. Such thoughts make him feel that love and fame are nothing but illusions. He thinks that love and fame cannot be accomplished in one's lifetime. He realizes that love and fame are merely shadows and they have no substance. These kinds of thoughts arise in the poet's mind because of his loss of faith in life. Now, when we look at the life of the poet, we find out that his thinking appears to be true because he died very soon in his life and he couldn't accomplish many of his dreams that he wanted to achieve. So, thank you very much for watching this video. And if you still have any doubt and want to ask, you may follow our official Instagram page. The link is given in description below.